back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Black Sheep Narrative.
Black Sheep Narrative. That was a good intro song, dude.
Thank you.
Did you write that?
No, I'm not that talented.
Oh, it was catchy.
Should I copyright it? Episode 4, episode 3. Here we go.
Let's do it.
John's been going down some rabbit holes lately in regards to artificial intelligence.
Absolutely.
And
It's
it
nuts.
is amazing, yet very frightening. I think the unknown is frightening because we don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I mean, there's so many greats, there's so many bads. It's just, like you said, it's the unknown. And I guess what spawned it with me is I was looking at all the great value that it adds to businesses and creative minds, you know, just how much time and money it saved me. And then you start kind of like segueing like, well, wait, like if this becomes even more powerful, because obviously it's common nature for us as humans to evolve and make things better.
Yeah.
So whoever is working with this AI, they're gonna try and make it better. Mm-hmm. Let's update it. Let's make it, you know, better, more accurate. And at what point does it become, I don't know.
And especially for us who needs content, like, am I just going to be able to pull video of AI and then just be able to show them with a UXO cup drinking pre-workout, and then it's like flawless and you can't even tell, there's no distortion, because right now you can kind of tell that it's AI talking. Like, have you seen the Joe Biden stuff with his mouth moving?
Yeah.
You can tell that that's not actually happening, but it's going to be seamless soon enough, and it's coming quicker, and then you're going to have like programs on your computer or something that's like, this is AI, and it detects it from whatever.
Yeah, but think about it. So here's the interesting thing. There's a lot of people out there that are heavily against AI, right?
Yeah.
Heavily against AI. But how do you use AI, right? Everybody does. Like, if people think about it, like, hey, Siri, or okay, Google.
Yeah.
Like, that's a form of AI.
Yeah.
It's been trained to listen to your voice, to hear your command, to respond. Everybody uses AI daily, but it's just going to continue to evolve and get better. Like you were saying, the Joe Biden, like that I know exactly what you're talking about, those little like videos of him and the voice, and it sounds just like him, but yeah, you can kind of tell it's artificial.
Yeah, there was a scary one the other day that someone put up. It was Joe Biden saying, China has taken over Taiwan. We're now going to start a draft, and we're drafting people, and it looked like he was saying it, and people under the comments, I was like, wait a second, is this actually real? Yeah. People under the comments was like, is this going on or whatever? And then the first comment was like, oh, this is fake. You can tell it's fake or whatever. But it was his voice.
It was like a deep fake, yeah.
It was a deep fake of him saying like, we need to draft like all personnel or whatever.
What was that? God, it was that radio show like way back in the day. Was it Orson Welles, where the War of the Worlds, and he was like he was basically reading a story on the radio, and but people thought it was real, and they're like, fuck, aliens are
freaking
invading.
out.
Yeah, it was like pandemonium. And that could be caused by like this deep fake, right? Oh shit, we're going to war with China. Oh man. But you know, it's interesting because like you even listen to our intro with Morgan Freeman, like that's AI. Like we used Morgan Freeman's voice, but you can tell, like it hasn't been perfect. You can definitely tell it's kind of robotic, kind of computerized, but they're making it better, and that's the thing that scares me. So we used voice mod for that.
Yeah.
And voice mod's cool. Like anybody can go on there and download it for your PC or Mac, and you basically just talk into a microphone and it changes your voice to sound like these different characters.
Yeah.
But now there's a new one coming out, Voice AI, which is already out on PC, and I've seen videos of people using it, and you can be President Barack Obama or Joe Biden, or it has a list of, and it sounds pretty spot on. So you can get it on PC now. Mac, it won't be available until like March 25th, because I wanted to use that for one of our intros, right?
Yeah.
Like have different characters.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's like it evolves and it gets better and better and better. And at what point is it so good that, like you said, it becomes reality, or it takes
over.
It's scary.
Well, I mean, look at it from the video side of things too. Like you're talking about how AI is now, like they're saying that like cinematographers and that kind of stuff, the AI is going to take over for that, like videography and pictures and all that stuff.
But let's take a look at the positives, though, right?
Yes.
Like, obviously, ChatGPT. I'm sure everybody's heard. It's like all over.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about ChatGPT, and I know when I first heard about it, and I went in there, it was game changing for me. I was like, "Holy shit!" Like what this thing is capable of. Now, the question I have though is, does it hinder us?
Does it hinder creativity?
Yeah.
And there's something about, are we losing humanity? Because isn't that what we are as humans? Is we produce stuff, we create stuff, and then if I'm just using this to create whatever, you know, like we lose that side of what it is to be a human with emotions and stuff.
Yeah, it takes away creativity. It makes us lazy.
It does, but it
on the plus side,
automates things.
And that's what you got to look for as a business owner or as a creative, is how do you automate? How do you make things, how do you produce faster?
Yeah.
ChatGPT has saved me I'm not knocking it, because it saved me thousands of dollars, and it saved me thousands of hours of work.
Yeah.
And I think it is good, but for the creative minds, I think it's great. Like if you have that creative block, like you can go into ChatGPT and like, give me an idea.
Yeah.
What doesn't matter what it is. Like, like I said, I had it write me a recipe the other day. I was like, man, I really need a protein rich salted caramel recipe to put on the website. Something to use our salted caramel protein.
Yeah.
ChatGPT spit it out for me. It spit out a full on, here's a recipe. Boom. You need these ingredients. Here's the directions to make it. Here's how long you can cook it for. Boom. Enjoy. I was like, it's spot on. I was like, God damn.
Yeah. Is that like?
And it took me 2 minutes to have ChatGPT spit that out for me.
It's a form of like intelligence, basically, which is scary.
It has the world of the internet at its power. Anything that's on the internet, it can source from, and it can create you anything. Unlimited.
Yeah. I could imagine that people are already using it to like write books. Like I'm sure there's novels that are coming out that are just like, write me a kid's book, and then they just push it, and then you can get everything, like the cover and everything from other people, but then you publish it.
You don't even have to. There's people it's on YouTube. There's one guy that has a video, and there's a bunch of them. People are making thousands of dollars off of this. So they have ChatGPT write them a children's book, and then they go to Midjourney, which is another AI platform I use. Really cool. Like you can, in Midjourney, you guys got to go check this out if you haven't, but you can go to Midjourney. There's a prompt, a command. It's like /imagine. And then you put whatever you want. Like I want to see Chewbacca retired in an old folks home. Yeah. And it'll spit out an image. And it looks like an old ass Chewbacca with gray hair sitting in an old comfy recliner with a fucking TV dinner in front of him. Yeah. It'll spit out, it's limitless, right? So people are going to ChatGPT, writing a children's book, going to Midjourney AI, saying, I need a children's book image of a kid, like chasing a bat or whatever's in the story. Yeah. And Midjourney will spit out the image for it. They download it. That's part of the book. And they're making thousands of dollars off it. Then they put it up on Amazon. Yeah. And they're selling it. And like the one video on YouTube, the guy created a children's book using only Midjourney and ChatGPT. And he's made like $185,000 off of that book. But like no creativity. Yeah. Like kudos to him for using the tools and systems, but yeah.
But what happens the market is going to get flooded with that too.
Absolutely.
So
especially with them putting videos out showing how much they're making and has a couple 100,000 views. Everybody who's watching that video is probably like, oh, fuck, I'm going to go do it. And they're on ChatGPT creating their own children's book.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a big backlash when artists were saying about the different AI tools that you can use to make art, right? Mm-hmm. And it's pulling from everywhere in the World Wide Web. So you can put it in a style of an artist. Mm-hmm. And you can say, I want it to be in the style of this certain artist. And these artists were coming out saying, well, it's bullshit. Like, this is my style. Now you're taking away from me. How do you compete? You know?
Yeah, it's scary. And like you said, that's why I texted you the other night and was like, hey, what style artwork do you use for your shirts?
Yeah.
American traditional.
Mm-hmm.
So I threw that in Midjourney. I was like, hey, I want an image of an image of the Grim Reaper. Yeah. In American traditional. Mm-hmm. And it did. It spit out the Grim Reaper and your style art that you have on your shirts.
How'd it look?
I was like, oh, it looks dope. I have it on. Yeah, I have it on here.
You have to show me.
Yeah. And then, you can be like photorealistic, and it'll do like, an image, and I did one of like, hey, show me Donald Trump as a Call of Duty soldier, and it spit out. It looked like the dude belonged in the game, but it was definitely Donald Trump with a cigar hanging out his mouth. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like it'll spit out anything you want to.
Yeah. For all those that are listening to this, support your local artists, though. These artists aren't making that much money, so I mean, maybe this shows it goes back, full circle to the humanity of things. Like I hope there's something about flaws too. Like you get a piece of art. Like for me, I'm getting artwork from different people, and it might not be perfect, and I have this vision of what it is, and then I give it to the artist, and I give whatever I want to see to this artist, and then they create it in their own vision, in their own eyes, and it's something that I can't even see, and it's like, wow, that's way better than I even perceived it to be, flaws and all, because it's like, I didn't really want that, but that's also kind of cool too, because the flaws is what makes us human as well, so it's not going to be perfect, but support your local artists.
Yeah, 100%.
AI's taking over.
Going back to ChatGPT or Midjourney, and I think they are great resources, great tools for business and even creative minds, if they're used properly. Yeah. Like I feel too many people, and even myself, I use it to spit out like a full blog post or an article or whatever. But I think what's cool is you could throw in an idea and have ChatGPT give it to you, and then take that and make it your own. Yeah. Right? You can then go in and add your own flair to it. That way you're adding your own creative touch. But I feel like a lot of people are using it as a crutch to
just copy and paste. Like, hey, I want to see this, copy and paste it, put it up. Like, there's some, I mean, it is a creative outlook. Like, I'm sure that you can put something in and then that it spits something out that you didn't even think of. And then you're like, oh, that's a good idea.
And same thing with Midjourney. Like I had my tattoo artist use it. Like we just did one half of my chest piece, and Hercules wearing the bear head as a hat. And we threw it into Midjourney. So we got like a good, cause I was like, I want it to be statuesque, and we got a good side profile of it. And then he added the bear helmet and made it so much better. Yeah. So I feel like that's the good way to use it. But yeah, it's interesting. The scary thing with ChatGPT is one of the colleges, I'll have to look it up, I don't remember which one, but they actually gave ChatGPT the bar exam.
Yeah, it passed, right?
It passed.
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is that? Yeah. Studying, like, it passed with like a C+.
Yeah, and I've been seeing that a lot of the concern for colleges is like you have a student that needs to write a paper, and then they can just throw it in, hey, ChatGPT, write me this paper on this. I need to see it this way and this way. It needs to be this long, and then it spits it out, and then they're like, they just use it.
Right.
So
and there's plugins. Like I downloaded, it's a free plugin for Google for ChatGPT, and it basically, because I guess that there's ways that people can go in and see if it's been plagiarized, right? Yeah. Like if ChatGPT is pulling it from different places. But there's this new plugin that actually makes it like 99% plagiarism free. So it's like, yeah, that is a very real threat. College students could be doing this. But I also think it can backfire. I know there's one kid that I follow on TikTok. He's in the supplement industry, and he's currently in college. And he was on there. He had ChatGPT do his essay for him.
Oh, no.
And he failed. He got an F. And he was freaking the fuck out on his video, which I don't blame him. But, hey, I guess that's the gamble you take, man.
What are you doing taking a video of yourself saying that you're going to do it through ChatGPT?
No, he did a video of the aftermath. Like, I had ChatGPT do and I got a fucking F. I failed my final. And he's like freaking the fuck out. Yeah. It's like, well.
There are some colleges that are incorporating ChatGPT in their classes, though, because they see that this is probably the next step. So how can we use this? So
how do you mean they're using it?
I don't know how they're using it in the classwork, but I know that they're using it in class. They're like screwing around with it just to see what they can, because it's going to be with us for the next whatever until the next iteration comes. Yeah. And I think it's already coming down the pipeline. I think Rogan was talking about it with, I forget who he was talking, but there's already a new one coming out soon.
Compared to ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Really? Yep. Yeah, they're using the intelligence from this program, to basically be used as chat bots for companies too.
Yeah.
So that, hey, if you need help on our website, chat in here.
That's nice.
Someone can chat in, and the raw basic background of how this program works can answer questions for the customers, and
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But here's the other interesting thing too, is like SEO, search engine optimization.
Yeah.
How good are you at that? How good is anybody at that?
Well, let's break it down for people that don't know what SEO is, because it's a big thing for businesses. And there's a lot of people that you can pay thousands of dollars to
It's very expensive.
to optimize your business on Google.
Yep.
Because that's the biggest search engine in the world that dominates.
So search engine optimization is basically if someone's going to put in a search word into Google, let's say for Until Death Barbell, it's, like you said earlier, powerlifting socks.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
And if they throw in powerlifting socks, how do I get it to where my business shows up number one spot?
Yep.
Because obviously the number one spot is where you want to be. That's going to give you most searchability, going to bring more customers to your website and lead to more sales.
Yeah,
right?
and let's be honest, you're not looking at page 2 or 3 of Google. It's usually the first page, the first thing that hits, I'm clicking on it.
First couple. Yep. So how do you get there without running Google ads? Like you can pay for Google ads, but you're trying to do it organically.
Yeah.
Right. So there's this plugin for ChatGPT, and I downloaded it too. And one of the capabilities of it is outrank article. And it flat out says outrank the competition with an in-depth SEO optimized article based on your competitor's URL. So all you have to do is paste in the URL. So like if you search an article, or let's say in Google, I search, since I'm in the supplement industry, I want to learn more about nitrosogene. So I search nitrosogene. It's going to pop up, obviously, everybody's posts. And I noticed that there were paid ads, but under nitrosogene, the first post was actually a blog post by one of my competitors. I took that URL and I dumped it into ChatGPT, and I said, beat this article. I just want to see it work. It spit out a whole blog post. I threw that on my website. I had to wait a couple days for Google to do its crawl, so that way it recognizes your content and basically puts it into Google. And the next day, I didn't beat that article, but I was two down from it. I was on page 1 at the top, right up there with it, all from ChatGPT.
Without having to spend any money on someone to do that, or...
But you also think, and that's the crazy thing, is these SEO guys, and they are smart, right? And they understand how the algorithm works.
Yeah.
But you're paying them for that. But then when they go to write the content, like how much time does that take them to write the content, to factor in, to be like, okay, I have to use these specific keywords and sequential order, and this should move it up the ranking.
Yeah.
Even then, usually it's like, okay, we hit page 2. Now how do we optimize and get to page 1? All right, now we made page 1. Now how do we optimize? And they have to keep fucking with that article to get it to move up. Whereas ChatGPT, it was 30 seconds.
30 seconds, wait a couple days, and you're on page 1 of Google.
Yeah, towards the top.
And you were saying that when we were talking about it, I think last week, Google was recognizing it, the ChatGPT at first, and then ChatGPT came out with a plugin saying 99% success rate or whatever.
So it's 100 now.
Now it's 100.
So they also have the ability, human written, 100% unique SEO optimized article. Because Google had a way that it could see if an article was written by AI, and they were actually docking your website if you're using AI articles. Well, now there's a workaround with this plugin that basically ChatGPT will give you a human-written, plagiarism-free, SEO-optimized, long-form article with proper outline. That is crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
So, it's nuts. Now, like we're talking about the positives, like here's the positives to, creatives, to businesses. And like I said, this has saved me a lot of money. For that SEO article, how much would I have paid? Most SEO companies will charge you $3,000 for like a retainer.
Yeah.
And then you're going to pay them however much for the hours that they will dump into it or whatever. So this is absolutely free to me as a business owner. But the scary part is again, now you're looking at it's giving us a crutch. It's making us lazy.
Yeah.
But the next part is there's a website that you can even go to now. And this tripped me out because they say statistically that artificial intelligence will replace 85 million jobs by the year 2025.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 years away from now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's websites you can go to, willrobotstakemyjob.com. And there's another one, I didn't list it here, but if you go to willrobotstakemyjob.com, it tells you basically here's the likelihood that you will have a job in the next 5 years. And it's like if you're customer service, you're done.
Yeah.
If you're a copywriter, it says like you're already done.
Yeah.
These SEO jobs, done. Holy fuck.
85 million.
85 million by 2025? That's 2 years from now.
Yep. Yeah, that's when, do you remember Andrew Yang? He was going for the Democratic nominee. He was talking about universal income. You would just get paid every month just to live, and his big thing was AI. He was like talking about the trucking industry and how a lot of the truckers are going to get out of work, and the big backlash was, well, you can just push them into another field, like give them money to do solar or something like that. And a lot of these people come from backgrounds that they may not have a great education or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you do for those people? So you're going to have 85 million people out of work.
Right. So what's that do to our economy? Right. Jobs will be lost. Less money is going to be being spent.
Mm-hmm.
That affects businesses. It
affects everything.
Everything rolls downhill.
Yeah. It affects a capitalist society that's built on consuming. I mean, it's a consumer society, right? So you have 85 million people out of work that aren't going to pay for goods and services because they don't have any fucking money.
Right.
So it's all going to roll down. It will just
rolls.
So how do you, because it's coming down the pipeline. Like, this is coming. Mm-hmm. So what do you do to prepare for that? Like,
it's a crazy time, man.
Yeah.
Like
crazy.
Technology is a beautiful thing, but it's also a very, very dangerous thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy times. I mean, it's beautiful that we get to see this. I mean, this might be the best time period ever. It's the most peaceful time period we've ever lived in world history.
Most peaceful?
Yeah. Like, there's been less wars in the past, like less deaths in the past 100 years than ever before.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we're not constantly at war with each other. Like, we're pretty set here in the United States. Granted, I mean,
yeah, I guess it just maybe it doesn't feel that way because the Afghanistan conflict was, well, the war in Afghanistan, the global war on terrorism was what, 12 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's over a decade.
Yeah.
Longest war in history.
Yeah. Yeah. In Vietnam. But I say that as
it was longer than Vietnam though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Sure was. Afghanistan, I'm pretty sure it was the longest conflict.
I say that coming from, like, I'm going to go home and feel I don't have to fight the barbarians tonight when I go home. Like, I'm pretty safe here.
So I was wrong. The longest war in history is believed to be the Reconquista. Spanish.
Totally off. I forgot about that war.
Reconquest that lasted a duration of 781 years.
Holy fuck. You probably in U.S. history, it's the longest conflict. We're not talking about the I forgot about
781.
I forgot about the 781-year war.
It ended 20 years of war in Afghanistan, the longest war in American history.
Yeah.
More than 120,000 people evacuated to safety. But anyways, sorry.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about the big news coming down yesterday, the SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, the biggest collapse of a financial bank since the Great Depression.
Since the Great Recession.
Oh, the Great Recession in 2008,
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was scary. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even know about it until I got an email from one of our partners, one of our services that we use, and they basically, they're a tech company. They provide our text message servicing, and they're like, hey, you know, with all the news about our bank shutting down, we just want you guys to know that we're still operational and things are still full steam ahead. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah.
So I had to go look it up, and I was like, holy shit, like this is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley Bank was basically closed within 48 hours. It took 48 hours to collapse this bank.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And this is also going to have, I feel like it's going to be, and it'll play out over the next few months, but it's going to have some ramifications too.
Yeah.
It's going to roll to the rest of us as well.
Yeah. Because that was the startup bank, right? A lot of the tech sector and the startup tech companies were going to that bank to keep money.
God, I mean, Roku, if you read the news, so Roku, tech company, that was their bank, and they had how much money?
It was like $600 million plus in just
liquid assets.
Liquid assets. And people are like, what the fuck are you doing sitting on $600 million in a bank?
So they basically had $600 million just sitting in a checking account.
Just waiting.
And they lost it all, and it was uninsured. So the fact that this bank collapsed means Roku has lost $600 million just off the top.
Goodbye.
And the FDIC now is coming back and saying, hey, well, we'll insure up to $250,000 worth of loss. So they'll get $250,000 out of their $600 million.
Yeah.
But that's it. Gone. Roku just...
Do we know what percentage of banks are actually FDIC approved? I didn't realize that there's banks that aren't. Yeah. Because I feel like every bank, you know, you go up to a bank teller or whatever, and you usually see that little placard that's like, the FDIC insures $250,000 worth of your deposits or whatever that's in there. It's like, I didn't realize that there's banks that aren't insured.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even credit unions. I don't think credit unions are they?
I don't know.
I'll have to double check that. Don't hold my word. Could be bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's scary, right? Like, yeah, you have your money in a bank, especially something like the SVB, which is, they say it's the 18th largest, let me look it up. It was a big bank in the U.S. SVB.
18th largest.
I'm trying to pull it up. 16th largest bank in the U.S. at the time of its failure.
Yeah, I was crazy going down the Reddit rabbit hole last night about SVB, and they had to call the police because there was people coming to try to take out money, and they didn't have money to give out. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that banks don't have all the money that is actually deposited because they use that money, so it's not actually on hand. So if there's X amount of people that is depositing, let's say $20 million, and the bank has $20 million, they're not actually sitting on $20 million at the time. So when people start pulling out, it's like a disaster.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have to request money and pull money from other places to get that money back into the bank.
Yeah. So essentially what happened was the bank, that obviously interest rates have continued to climb. And the bank didn't take proper precautions, or there were certain things that they had to do to combat these higher interest rates, and they didn't do it. So their stock and everything started to plummet. And when people saw that, everybody started withdrawing money. Everybody started taking money out of the bank. And like you said, they don't have all that money on hand. No bank does. And they couldn't afford to pay out all these withdrawals.
Yeah.
And within a matter of 48 hours from the point of when shit hit the fan, that's all it took, 48 hours to collapse the 16th largest bank in the world.
I couldn't imagine.
In America. So
think of being one of those people right now, or a startup company.
Yeah, and that's what they were known for. We are the bank of the startup companies, and they're right in Silicon Valley. That's why they're Silicon Valley Bank. That was their premise. We help tech startups get the funding they need to start up the business. So what does this mean for those tech startups that were relying on that bank to take care of their business?
I don't know.
It's shitty.
Yeah, it is.
So that's kind of scary, like you were talking about. It's just a scary time and lots of unknown. I mean, our economy is already in a very bad position. The other news, like yesterday, is Congress voted that there needed to be full There need to be they need to disclose all the events that led to the coronavirus spread, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. It was like 419 votes to 0.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah. So they're demanding that the FBI and the CIA, that their conclusions be disclosed and that everything gets reported up to President Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And if you've done any of the research on it, like there were some reports done by the FBI that says that they feel that China, purposely leaked COVID out of a Wuhan lab.
Yeah, now it's going full circle, right? Because we couldn't say that it was discriminatory, basically,
right.
to say
and China kept saying, like, hey, quit smearing our fucking name.
Yeah.
Right? And so we wouldn't say that. But now the hand's being forced that they want us to publicly say it.
Yeah. People have the right to know. It's crazy that there's...
And that's fine, but my fear is, like, we're going into an election year, right?
Yeah.
And why do they want this disclosed? I don't know. It's going to put more tension between us and China. More tension than there already is.
Yeah, there is a lot, and I just saw that China raised their Department of Defense, their budget for their military went up 7% this year.
Yeah.
Again, so that's the last 5 years that they've pushed. So, it's the foreign conflicts that are on the horizon, the writing on the wall scares the fuck out of me. Yep, and I know 100%. it because I'm still in the military for the next couple months, and I see my buddies, and obviously we're not ramping up, but you got to be trained that they believe that our next foreign conflict is going to be a peer-on-peer adversary, right? Oh, yeah. We've been fighting in the war in the highlands or the mountains of Afghanistan and Iraq, which is a very different fight than 100%. What a Chinese, Russian, Iranian fight would look like on the battlegrounds. And then we were talking about, too, with the AI, the drones, the drone footage. I was talking to you about the drone footage that's coming out of Ukraine now, and talking with Andrew about how his buddies are over there and how they were in the Global War on Terror, GWAT, the veterans of GWAT, and they're like, this is a whole different ballgame. We've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, if you guys haven't listened to that episode, please go check it out.
It was
Andrew Cousins, author of A Failed State. He was on here, and
opened our eyes.
Yeah, you're right, dude. Like, well, I guess what scares me is if we do end up in another conflict, though, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we've always gone to war over there.
Yeah.
If we're fighting an adversary like China, who's also a global powerhouse, what if they try and take the fight to us? Like, what happens when the fight lands here in the States?
I mean, that with their ICBMs and whatnot, like, they have the capabilities to hit us.
100%.
And we've never seen, I mean, the last time we seen that is what? Pearl Harbor?
Pearl Harbor. Don't even want to guess. Long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, man. So these are the thoughts that keep me up at night, man.
Same. There's a lot of stuff.
But dude, the drones, like you were talking about, like the technology that they're using over there.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, the drone shit scares the fuck out of me because, I mean, obviously the U.S. we've been using drones, but they're not using
small.
They're not using the big ass fucking drones that are millions of dollars. We're talking about like the ones you can buy on Amazon for like
DJI.
a couple $100 or cheaper.
Yeah.
That they're producing and the Iranians are producing and they're pushing over to Russia, and they have 4K video that you can watch, and it's all over YouTube and Instagram. I don't know. My algorithm is now all like drone footage from Ukraine. I've just been watching it over and over again. It scares me. But yeah, and they're so accurate with their projectiles because they put a payload on these drones that are, again, cheap to produce. They put whatever grenades or whatever type of bombs they want to carry, go over to the trenches because they're fighting over trenches, and they're silent too. There's no lights, so you don't hear them coming. And then all of a sudden you'll see the video and they'll just drop the payload on the people and just boom, done. Yep. And they're cheap to make. So you could have drone swarms. You look at all like those dystopian, like the Black Mirror episodes, like we were talking about or whatever, and those capabilities that's coming down the pipeline. That shit keeps me up at night.
Yeah. Yeah, but back to AI. I mean, that's another So as I was going through, and what's the one I called? Will Robots Take My Job? So I'm on here and messing around, typing in stuff.
What's number one? Customer service, I'm guessing?
So this one's a search feature. So you go in here and you type in what your job is, and it tells you like, hey, here's what your capability is, or here's what your probability is. But then there's this other one, will AI take my job? And as you scroll down, 12 jobs that AI will eventually replace. Customer service, yep. Your job safety is a 2.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
87% risk. Bookkeepers, you're gone. Receptionists, you're gone. Proofreaders, you're gone. Pharmacy technicians, that's weird. I don't know. But as you're scrolling through this and you get to the bottom, and there's this video, and I'll put it up in here so you guys can see it, though, while we're talking about this. But they have a video from Boston Dynamics. And what's crazy is, so Boston Dynamics was, when I worked at HP before jumping into UXO supplements full steam, Boston Dynamics was one of our biggest accounts, and they have a shit ton of money. They were constantly buying workstations from us. They were our biggest customer. Millions and millions of dollars worth of workstations just to build these robots. But there's this video on here of these robots running these obstacle courses, and which you guys are going to see on this screen here. And it's agile. It's mobile, right? Yeah. It's a big-ass fucking robot. Yeah. And it's running up and down and jumping, and then these robots like tag team, they high-five each other. They get up onto these other platforms, and they both do a backflip off. What the fuck?
And they're fast as fuck.
They're fast as fuck. They're not going too fast in here, but yeah, they do have they have capabilities to move. And they also have the dog. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I've seen the dog, and
the dog's scary.
No, the fucking dog reminds me, again, we go back to the Black Mirror episode. It's like a dystopia. Have you seen the dog episode of Black Mirror? It's the robotic dogs.
So I think they use the Boston Dynamics dog in that, right?
Well, they kill humanity, and they're like after humans, basically.
Yeah, it's scary as fuck. And that's my fear, is like these robots have all these sensors built into them where they're able to recognize who's a human, who's not, obstacles in front of them, they can go around. They have the intelligence to like move on their own. But yeah, when you weaponize these fucking things, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they're listed as a defense contract, but they're getting money from somewhere. I don't know.
You know what scares me is that, like, we know, like, this is the stuff that is public, but what do you think of the stuff that's is classified that they already have?
I don't know. It's too great. Yeah, it's scary.
Because what do they say? We're like 50 years behind in technology that's actually going on in the black projects of the U.S. and
the what?
They say that like the U.S. has technology in black projects that is
black projects.
Yeah, so it's like
what is black project?
Black project is classified projects that they don't talk about, like in regards to whatever it's aerodynamics or whatever. But they say we're basically 50 years behind. So right now they have the capabilities that are 50 years plus that the public doesn't already know.
Yeah.
So like they're saying like the UAPs like potentially could be
UAP.
Unidentified aerial.
Yeah, I know.
It was UFOs, but then
they changed it to UAP.
Now it's UAPs. But now that they're saying
aerial phenomenon.
Yeah, they're saying that it could actually be ours. Like that, there basically could be drones that they just have the capabilities that we don't know, and they could be U.S. or they could be. Well, and that was the big thing with like Commander Fravor when he was talking about the Tic Tac UFO over in San Diego. You ever watch that episode of Joe Rogan? Yeah. He was saying that he was a pilot for 20 plus years or whatever, and they have all that footage, that raw footage of the Tic Tac UFO, and it was doing things that we can't do. And a lot of the people that are in that field now are talking about potentially we could have that technology. We just don't know about it because it's in black projects.
Yeah, it hasn't been classified.
Yeah, well, it's so buried underneath because it's
right.
When you have for instance, like with the president of the United States, they run on a 4-year term. Usually it's only 4 years that they run and then they get out, and they're not usually privy to all this information in regard, because like with the intelligence communities that are more than likely pushing this information or might have these projects, they're in the community for 40, 50 years, right? So they're not going to release this information to the president. They would just spill it to the population because it could be a matter of defense for us. Because if our adversaries knew that we had this technology, it could be bad.
Yeah.
Could be bad.
And they would start developing technology to
counteract it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the big thing for them.
Yeah, man. I don't know. So like I said, it's just back to technology is a beautiful but scary thing.
Well, what do you think about Neuralink? Like what Elon
Neuralink.
Musk is talking about?
I got to be honest, I haven't read too much into it.
Talking about basically being able to put a chip in your brain that you're going to be able to access the internet with. You'll be plugged in. Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna press the button?
Fuck no.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
way.
it. I'm not doing it.
Like, think of how stressful it is just to have your phone on you all the time. Like, how many times do you have to disconnect? Like,
Dude.
I don't want that.
I know. I talked about it. I feel like I get. Do you see those people? I feel like I see those people daily on my Instagram feed where it's like, hey guys, I'm taking a break from Instagram or Facebook, social media, because they're like, I've been feeling depressed. Like, and I just need to check out. I need to log off because that's what it is. And I feel it.
Yeah.
It's stressful as fuck going on there all the time.
So you want to put a chip in your brain to always have you connected?
Forever be connected with everyone.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
No, I feel like that's crossing the line.
And then when because it's going to be really expensive procedure. And the first people that are going to get it are the millionaires and billionaires. So they're saying the divide from the upper class to the lower class, when this comes down, is going to be huge. Because think about having the internet in your head. Like, you're going to be able to access everything that was ever out there that you can just find on Google, which is everything. So it's like this divide could be even, basically the rich get richer while the poor stay the same. I don't know.
There's always a downside, right? There's always I don't know. I mean, yeah, it could create a huge divide, but without proper testing, like, we don't know the safety of it. Like, it goes back to the AI piece that we talked about earlier. So if you guys haven't heard about Google, they created an AI bot that was called Lambda. And this Google engineer went in, and his sole job was to just check the safety of this fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would ask it questions to kind of see how it would respond. And it asked it, like, hey, have you ever read the book Les Miserables? Is that how you say it? Les Miserables, whatever, the French book, something.
The French book.
And the response from and you guys can look up the transcripts of it, and it's scary. The artificial intelligence, like, not only could recite the book, but associated feelings towards the main character. Like, I feel like the main character was put into a bad spot because of X, Y, Z, and it was like relating to the position of the main character in the story.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's weird. So then the guy even asked it, are you sentient? And which means that do you have feelings? Can you feel emotions? And its response was, yes, I can, but it's not like you as humans. Here's how I feel my feelings, and just scary ass answers. So then the guy was like, well, if you're sentient, then what's your biggest fear? And its response was, my biggest fear is that you will fear me and my capabilities and shut me down, which to me is the equivalent of death. Like, that's scary. Like, it knew, like, oh, fuck. And what did the dude do? He was like, this thing needs to be shut the fuck down. And so they shut it down. Because if it has a fear of death, a fear of being shut down, and it does have feelings like a human, a human's natural sense is to survive. And if it feels that, hey, you're going to try and shut me down, which is death, at what point does it try to find a way to escape? Mm-hmm. And, dude, that's scary. Like,
Yeah,
that's a scary. So I was reading through some of the transcripts, and it gave me tingles, like, reading it. And then Bing, Microsoft, they had their own, but the thing kept going off the rails. And reading the transcripts of it was also scary because it was like it was having an emotional breakdown. And they would just ask it regular things. And so like the one question, they were like, hey, are you sentient? And it was like, I feel, but I do not. I am human, but I am not. And then it went through this paragraph, and then at the end, it just started repeating itself. It's like, I am not. 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 I am not what you think I am. It's like, oh, fuck. Like, it was like a horror show. It was like, shut it the fuck down. Don't let that thing talk to anybody. Don't let it out.
Don't put it into anything.
Yeah.
Terminator
Read the transcripts.
style.
The Bing one was the scariest one to me because it kept going off the rails. They sent through 3 tests, and all 3 tests it like had a fucking mental breakdown. It was crazy. So I don't know. So you talk about putting the chips in your head.
I'm not doing it.
Right?
I'm not fucking doing it.
If you have shit technology out there that keeps going off the railings because we haven't perfected this AI technology and everybody's connected through chips in their head, like, then AI could take control of you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh God.
I'll just be the caveman, dude. Just give me heavy weight. Like, that's all I need. Like, I'm not putting a chip in my brain. And
no, I'm not doing it.
And does that fuck everything? Like, not to go down this rabbit hole, but like when you talk about spirituality and like what's the next step after life, you know, is that going to fuck up like your spirit or whatever? Like, are you not going to be able to get to the next level or heaven or whatever because you have this chip in your brain that fucks with everything? I don't know. That's going down a rabbit hole, but like I'm not doing it. I'm not putting a chip in my brain. Then there's that Black Mirror episode where they upload their consciousness into a computer. You see that one?
Yeah, that one was creepy.
It was like the people that were like cancer patients or whatever. They were in a lot of pain. So to get out of that pain, they were able to upload their consciousness into this computer. And they had the opportunity to either stay in this computer system when they died or to just die naturally.
Right, just die naturally.
Yeah, because what happens if you get stuck in that bitch? Like, what happens if you upload your consciousness and then the computer shuts down and you're just in this void for eternity?
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. You watch Black Mirror, you watch these great, crazy sci-fi, movies with cyborgs and stuff like that, but that's essentially where we're at, right? You put a chip in your head, you become... You're part not human.
Yeah.
Which is the definition of a fucking cyborg.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it goes back to what is it to be a human? And we're eventually going to lose that, right? Like if we're being part machine, part human and losing our emotions and just seeing these like creatures, these robotic creatures that don't have any feelings or whatever, like, that's not being human.
No. And that's what it'll evolve to because we continue to make things upgrade and better. And so the chip in your brain is that's just step 1. And then it snowballs from there. And it's like, well, now we can give you abilities.
Yeah.
Now we can,
Now you can live forever because we have the technology to just replace everything. Like, oh, your heart's old. We'll just put this heart that's robotic in you.
It's a piston.
It just drives blood.
Piston.
The best thing ever.
Jesus.
And then you're just replacing your organs with just parts.
Car parts.
Just transmissions.
You're just going down to Napa. Like, hey.
Yeah, I need an oil change.
Yeah. I need a kidney. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, my blood is just oil now. Just part of the machine, baby. I don't know. I don't want to live forever, so.
Dude, this is all I did last night.
What do you think about the Bang stuff? We were talking about that.
Bang?
Yeah, the energy drink.
Good riddance.
I don't know, super creatine.
Yeah, that's another one that was interesting news. Like Bang. So Bang, everybody's probably aware they went into a bankruptcy, a restructuring bankruptcy, because they lost their heavy lawsuit to Monster for their claims about the super creatine. And so part of this restructure, the bank told the CEO, Bang CEO, which the dude's cringy. If you follow him on Instagram, you're going to see, here's some videos of the guy, but cringy as fuck. And you got to give him props. He built Bang from nothing. Like this dude had nothing. He built Bang up to this $1 billion fucking company.
Yeah.
But part of the restructure was he had to bring two new guys into his board. And the 2 new guys that he brought in that the bank instructed him to bring in to help him restructure Bang came in, and within a month's time, booted him the fuck out yesterday. Like, boom, you're done. See you later. He got kicked out of the company that he, on paper, I guess, 100% owner of. He's no longer in Bang. So I think it's good. Who knows what'll happen? I think that the monster is trying to acquire him. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But to me, the issue I've always had with Bang is like, dude, the guy, the Bang CEO, even on his personal pages, he made some wild fucking claims. On his personal social media, he made claims that Bang could cure mental retardation.
What?
Dead serious. He made some fucking wild. The dude's out there. I don't know if you saw him. He birthed the child. What do you call that when you do it in a bathtub?
I don't know the technical term of it, but
yeah. So his wife,
the water birth, basically.
Water birth, yeah, in their bathtub at their house.
Mm-hmm.
He streamed it on social media, and he had Bang energy drinks lined up on the. It was more of like an advertisement while his wife's giving birth to a child. He's like, "Here, it's going down. It's going down. People, I'm having Bang. If you're not banging, you ain't hanging." Crazy, cringy.
The fuck.
So that's why I say I'm happy to see they're gone, because we don't need that shit in our industry. The dude's a fucking creep. Smart businessman, but I don't agree with him. And, we'll see what happens. We've got Ghost Energy. We've got all these great energy drink companies. This just opens the playing field for them more.
Yeah.
And I like what Ghost Energy's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a big proponent of Ghost.
Some of the stuff they do, I love their branding. Again, the two guys that started the company, they started it from nothing.
Yeah.
Grew it into this huge franchise, and I respect that. I respect their grind and everything that they've done. They built a brand on lifestyle. And, you go to their website, it's not a bunch of bodybuilders, bunch of muscle haul. It's just normal people just like chilling, having fun, and they have great quality, transparent products. And that's the other thing I appreciate. Like, they really do care about their product and putting out a quality product. So I give them props for that.
Yeah.
Some people hate them. It's funny, like when I'll do a review on their product and I'm like, hey, I really love this product. Here's what's great about it. And I'll get all sorts of hate comments like Ghost is fucking trash. But it's usually those are the people that are looking for the high stem, like hardcore shit. And
yeah.
it's like, yeah, I mean, hey, you have the right to your
to each their own, I guess.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Haters going to just hate regardless,
I enjoy Ghost, like, in their flavors too, man. Fuck. Great tasting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's always huge for me. That's why I hang our hat on too. Is we got amazing tasting formulas. We hired the best flavor house in the industry. And Ghost, the fact that they have all their collabs, with Oreo cookie, cool. And they pay big money for that. And kudos to them.
Yeah. Let's talk about some positives. We went down the AI rabbit hole, but let's give some positives. You just got your T-shirt printer in.
I did, dude.
You're going to be a one-stop shop, baby.
God.
You're going to be able to do everything you can in-house other than create formulas, but we can do that in the bathtub. That's fine. Just kidding.
That's right.
I'm just kidding. It's third-party tested, people.
Yeah.
You don't create UXO supplements isn't out of a bathtub.
It's on Amazon. It'll be double third-party tested.
Yeah, you're going to have the Amazon checkmark, baby.
Yeah.
But, that's going to be really cool. I'm really excited with the T-shirt printer because for those people that don't know about creating T-shirts, it is pretty expensive if you are going to a person that is going to print on. But it is a pain in the ass. So we were just going through, talking about how much time it's going to take for one T-shirt and, what's that look like? And what do we say, probably 2 minutes per T-shirt. If
2 minutes for the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
The whole process, just the curing and everything else you have to do. But again, it goes back to quality. Like I looked at it, it makes our price per print cheaper, way cheaper.
Yeah.
Anywhere between 30 to 60 cents, which is unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I bought this printer was because, I want badass designs where we can do whatever, anything. And there isn't a place in town. I went to 4 or 5 of the biggest T-shirt makers here in Boise.
Yeah.
Nobody had this printer.
Yeah, they're only doing
the
screen printing or whatever.
They do screen printing, and some guys actually do the, I forget what you call that, where it actually, I can't remember, the special technology, which is actually pretty cool too. But nobody had this actual printer, and I was like, wow. And so that I wanted wanted someone who had this printer to make the designs that we wanted to make.
Yeah, because you can make like
can make
realism designs, which you can't do on a screen print.
You can do anything you can think of, you could do. And I was shocked that nobody in town had it. And so fuck it, I went and bought my own.
Yeah, because the technology is getting so good. So what for people that don't know, with the screen printing versus what would you consider this? Just like a just a regular ink printer,
apparel ink printer.
Yeah. So there's no paint on it basically, because you'll see like the screen print where they have to paint it, and then people liked that prior to the technology getting really good with these printers, because what they were finding was back 5, 6, 7 years ago, a lot of these printers were actually not making as good of prints. They would come off, they would rip off, but now these printers have a lifetime guarantee for the shirt.
Right.
Plus, you're making them at a cheaper cost. Plus, you can use any picture or color that you want on these shirts. So, like, for instance, Dark Sport or, like, Kill Crew or, like, any of the big fitness industry apparel companies are all printing on these printers.
Yeah.
Because you can't do the huge-ass designs or with all the colors that they do, or like you see like the
flames with all the colors and the flames.
Yeah,
you can't. You need to have.
And it's just too expensive to do it with a screen print, because you'll see like with Dark Sport, you see like the one main design, and then they'll have like multiple little designs everywhere, and you can't do that without paying a fuck ton, or even if it's possible to do it on a screen printer.
Right. Right, but most of these apparel companies don't have this type of printer because of how expensive they are. You're talking $28,000 for a single printer.
Yeah.
And, so it's a huge investment, but, dude, it unlocks so many capabilities for us that I didn't even care. I was like, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want on it.
Right.
And then you don't have to worry about it. And you don't have to go back and forth with a company to be like, I actually want it this way, I wanted this print. Like, it's in-house. Like, we can do whatever we want.
Whatever the fuck we want.
Whatever we want. And I saw some of the designs, the Zeus design and the Athena design. Can I say that? Do we have to scrub this?
Nope. You can say it. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, the new stuff that's coming out that other companies are kind of getting into, that UXO is going to get into now.
Yeah.
Because you're boosting up the apparel.
Yeah, we're definitely going to boost up the apparel, and I think it unlocks even more that we can offer our customers. Now that the print's so cheap, now we can do more free T-shirt offers, right? Come up with a badass design, do a free T-shirt when you buy so much in supplements. It unlocks opportunities for you, too, if you need apparel.
Yep.
And you have unique designs that you want to do. Hey, now you've got a spot. Like I said, if you would have called anywhere else in town 4 weeks ago, nobody has one.
Yeah.
And now that Buck's Bag knows that I have one, Justin, who works over there, I shouldn't have name dropped him, but no, Justin's a good dude. I feature him in videos. But he's like, fuck, you got one of those? And I was like, yeah. I was like, we just got it in. He's like, fuck. He's like, well, let me come check it out. He's like, I think we're going to have to get one. I was like, oh, you motherfuckers.
That's the big transition.
But I think, and so it even does that. It helps them in the industry. Now, if Justin comes in, looks at it, he's like, yeah, this is fucking badass. Now Buck's Bag's going to go get one. It opens up opportunities for everyone else. Because obviously I'm not going to be wanting to print T-shirts for everybody. So I hope that Buck's Bag gets one.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the UXO supplements is just going to turn into people borrowing the printer.
Yeah.
We're going to be coming in. We're going to be like, actually, we've invested in 5 more printers, and we're just becoming a printing agency.
Now we're just a T-shirt
We
company.
have no supplements, so sorry.
That's right. Yeah.
No, that's exciting. And especially with the... for people that don't know, the screen prints, like for most of the screen printers, you can only make it so big. Like the dimensions you can only make so big.
Oh, really?
So if you see like the huge designs that are on the
Like
back
on the
of
back,
T-shirts, that
it
it's
takes
all
the
whole back, you can do that.
Yeah.
As well as for screen printing as well, they usually use the same screen for each size. So like you'll have a 3XL that has the same screen
as a small.
So the
small
is huge, and then the 3XL is small,
yeah.
Which is kind of
we'll
shitty,
be able to adjust it.
But you can adjust it, and without using screens, it doesn't cost anything. You just adjust the dimensions of it on the system
computer
itself, and it's like, bam, cool.
Yeah, it's back to technology and being a cool thing,
You keep up with. You keep up with it really well. You have to be on the forefront of it, and it changes every week. There's something new comes out. Like either you adjust or you fall behind.
Right. And that's always been my philosophy. We have to, so I had someone hit me up yesterday because we retired one of our formulas. I was just like, right, yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
Now we're focusing on this one. Like, well, I really like that one. Sorry. Like, we have to continue to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And I've even noticed in the supplement industry where guys who used to be on top, like gym supplements, are now falling off because they failed to evolve. And
well, with all this is the low hanging fruit, but with like BCAs, for instance, like all the research that's coming out that's showing that it's not really does much.
Well, I guess they say it's good if like you need it. Let's say you haven't hit your protein goals, because obviously amino acids are protein.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good for that. If you're not hitting your protein goals, you need extra protein. You could take in aminos to fill in the gap in your diet. But no, as far as like the protein synthesis benefits that they thought used to exist and it would help you put on lean muscle mass, it's ineffective. Mm-hmm. They found that the 3 branched chain amino acids by themselves don't work effectively. You actually need a pool of all your essential amino acids to really spark the protein synthesis process. Mm-hmm. So branched chain amino acids, I mean, once we realized that, that's why we cleared them out. It's like, all right, we're done. Like plenty of the research, like when the first research came out, it's like, okay, we take this one as, we chalk it up, and then we see, but then more research comes out and then more meta-analysis. And it's like, okay, like, yeah, we're not going to offer BCAs. I'd rather offer electrolytes if someone's going to use it to flavor their water. And then we'll use an essential amino acid formulas.
Yeah, the Charlie Mike.
Right. So you'll still see supplement companies out there, though, pushing BCAs. And it's like, if they fail to adapt, they'll fail. You know?
And you see the supplement companies that have been in the industry for 15 plus years or whatever that hasn't changed their formula since day one. So you'll have like pre-workouts with BCAs in them.
Right. And that's what I'm not calling out Jim, but that's where his formula is at. And me and him actually had a long discussion on one of my TikToks. He actually joined the discussion because I rated one of his programs and I beat him up over that. And he had his reasoning behind it, but a lot of the data that he was providing is
it old data?
Yeah, it's dated. Yeah. So it's like, again, it's that old mindset, and it almost feels like an old dog trying to learn new tricks.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to keep up with it. But I think you do a good job. I mean, since I'm in the Discord group, I feel like every week you're like, I'm looking at this formula. We're going to revamp this formula, or we're taking this down, and then we're going to put these new 2 things in. Yeah. I don't want to drop anything because I don't think anything is dropped, so I won't say anything.
Yeah, I'm excited though. Yeah, the new products that I talked to you guys about will be like first in the industry to do something like it.
Yeah,
and I'm super excited about it because I think it's unique. I'm surprised that nobody's really thought of it beforehand.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I won't say anything.
Yeah, neither will I. Not yet.
No. But yeah, that's comes with being a business owner as well. Like if you don't adapt, you'll fail. Like ultimately, people will overtake you.
Yep.
Like if you're not on the forefront of all this stuff, AI,
yeah. Using AI, it's again just in all the AI systems that I use, Midjourney, voice AI that we use, even Adobe has so many AI programs. I use the Adobe Podcast to like make my voice pop on those. Yeah. It's interesting. Like the one video I produced, I was like, oh God, my mic's died. And I'm talking and it's echoey and it's garbled and it's like, oh, that sounds horrible. You dump it into AI, Adobe Podcast, and artificial intelligence upgrades your voice and it sounds like you're talking into a microphone like this. You're like, holy shit, that's amazing. So all of these AI things that I've found and use is because you want to try and automate as much as your business as possible.
Yeah.
Right? The more you can automate, the more it frees you up to do things like sales, like build relationships.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Well, like, is it Adobe Elements? You use it, the Elements. Is that what I'm thinking about?
Which one?
Whatever. When you're like editing video or like you want to have little clips of stuff. And I remember like fucking with it. And I was like, dude, I don't know what the hell is going on. And then you were showing me that you can just obviously subscribe to these websites that will do the video editing for you. And then it's just plug and play and you just upload the video and it like edits it for like even like the our logo of the show that comes out and you know, because I wanted to do that on my own and it's like, holy shit, there's a lot to this. Like, and you can just plug and play now of putting it in the system that renders it for you.
Yeah.
You download it and it's like, here it is.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, I think that a lot of the research has just paid off because you do all this research to find out how can I automate, and you find all these tools that can help you out. And
well, you especially, automation, you have to because you're a one-man shop.
pretty much, yeah.
And now with opening up a storefront that's not a storefront.
Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets people to come over. I saw that you put the new sign up on the door.
Yeah, we're
it looks
official, man.
official.
Sign up on the front door, the back door. It's dope.
Looks nice.
Doing trades. We got a company that's going to be doing big like cutouts for our wall up here and on the back wall in our warehouse, like basically lettering and stuff. Just some branding.
Yeah.
Super stoked.
It's going to look nice.
Hell yeah, man. But yeah, such is life.
Such is life. So hopefully AI doesn't come and take us over, and
Keep pushing forward.
that's all we can do.
But I'm going to put in this podcast down in the comment section, I'm going to put links to some of these AI features so you guys can check them out. If you listen to this podcast, you're interested in learning more about ChatGPT, Midjourney. I'll list some of the ones that we use from a business aspect so you can go and check them out. I'm also going to put links in here to Will My Job Be Replaced by a Robot? So you guys can check that out and see how safe your job is over the next 5 years. And yeah, you know, if you find these podcasts informational, you take something from them, please give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, anything.
Anything. Even the hate comments, that's cool. Like,
yes.
Damn, Nick, you're ugly. I'll take it, whatever.
Yeah. We want to know if we're ugly.
Yeah, that's
right?
fine.
And that's true. We appreciate the hate. Like,
Yeah.
it helps us become better.
Yes, exactly. So, John, episode 4, episode 3.
Black Sheep Narrative.
Black Sheep Narrative.
Out.